Mr. Speaker, I rise to give my unwavering support to this 2020-2021 budget put before this honorable House. Mr. Speaker, this budget reflects deep thought and consideration and is balanced and far-reaching in my opinion. This is a plan that can not only ease the economic hardship brought on by Hurricane Maria and COVID-19, but it will also steer our country to economic prosperity. Mr. Speaker, these are challenging times. However, this is a government with a strong track record, especially when it comes to maneuvering through times like these. Mr. Speaker, I may be young, but never before have I seen a government go through so much adversity, be it Tropical Storm Erica, Hurricane Maria, and now COVID-19. And it is because of the leadership of our Prime Minister, Honorable Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit, and his hard-working cabinet that we have been triumphant, and we will continue to triumph and propel our country forward today. We are all painfully aware that COVID-19 has taken its toll on the world, causing death, illness, and economic despair. The pandemic has negatively affected global economic growth beyond anything experienced in almost 100 years. It is estimated that the virus could cut global economic growth by 3 to 6% in 2020. Regionally, the impact of COVID has been seen virtually across all sectors, from tourism to manufacturing to health to education and creative industries. Here in Dominica, it is much of the same. Yet still, against this seemingly bleak backdrop, here is a beacon of light, a budget carefully crafted by our visionary leader and Prime Minister. This budget, aptly named The Road to Dynamic Dominica, Fostering Economic Resilience, is poised to positively impact all strata of society. Mr. Speaker, over the last few months, we have witnessed this government's response to COVID-19. And despite what others may say, it has been nothing short of exceptional. Even before the entry of COVID to our shores in March of this year, government sought to engage stakeholders in a national stakeholder consultation on COVID-19. The Ministry of Health, under the leadership of the Honorable Minister, from the get-go, had a firm hand on the handling of this situation. Now, Mr. Speaker, notwithstanding the pandemic and significant cuts to government revenue, absolutely no social program was cut. Public servants kept their jobs. Constructions of various housing projects across the island never ceased. Do you know what you call that, Mr. Speaker? You call that a government whose main focus is the people who they are called on to serve. Mr. Speaker, this is a caring government who sought the repatriation of students, a caring government who provided stipends for students in China caught in the then epicenter of the coronavirus. Mr. Speaker, as the youngest member of this honorable House, I feel it is my duty to highlight a few aspects of this 2020-2021 budget that speak to opportunities for the youth, who are a critical pillar of dynamic Dominica. I'm talking about opportunities in the new digital economy, opportunities in employment, opportunities in youth programs and business, opportunities in housing, Mr. Speaker, and opportunities in education and personal development. Allow me to elaborate on these opportunities for our young people. the digital economy. Mr. Speaker, this 2020-2021 budget is truly setting our country on a path for a dynamic Dominica. A Dominica set to make inroads in the digital economy. After hearing the Minister of Public Works and the digital economy on Wednesday, it is safe to say that we are already well on our way. Technological change is one of the most disruptive drivers of the future world of work. It generates new jobs and increases the productivity of firms and workers. The digital economy opens a host of new possibilities for our young people. This budgetary allocation of $4 million for the operation of the digital economy ensures that Dominicans will be able to take advantage of these many opportunities. Mr. Speaker, according to the International Labour Organization's Global Youth Employment Study of 2020, and I quote, "Equipping young people with technical skills that are in high demand, together with life skills such as communication and teamwork that enhance their general employability, is crucial, even for non-technical roles such as customer service or sales. Job applicants are increasingly expected to possess digital skills." This is exactly what the Work Online Dominica initiative is all about. Building the capacity of young Dominicans in an effort to make them more competitive in the online job market. The focus on the digital economy is in line with some of the objectives outlined in the National Resilience Development Strategy, which are to promote adaptation and use of science and technology, and to further broaden and deepen integration of Dominica into the region and the world. Now, Mr. Speaker, the NRDS, which is a 10-year plan, will take us to 2030. However, here we are in 2020, and this government is actively working towards achieving these goals. This is testimony to a government which is not only visionary, but action-oriented as well. Mr. Speaker, I wish to turn my attention to the National Employment Program. The NEP continues to provide an avenue for Dominicans to work hard, gain experience, and positively contribute to their institutions and the country by extension. The genesis of this program was to tackle the issue of youth unemployment. This is exactly what this program is doing. Scores of Dominicans have graduated out of this program and have found jobs across all sectors, both in Dominica and out. Today, we have seen the National Employment Program grow by leaps and bounds, impacting positively both public and private sector and across all levels. Mr. Speaker, the NEP also provides much needed direction for young people in the area of career development. I consider myself a proud product of the National Employment Program. Fresh out of the Dominica State College, I had the opportunity to work as an intern with the then Ministry of Commerce. There I found my passion for business development. I then left Dominica to further my study, build my knowledge and capacity, and came back to develop my country in that field. Had it not been for the NEP and the direction that it provided me, there is a possibility that I may have never found my true calling. Now, Mr. Speaker, my story is not unique. There are countless other individuals, young people, who have had similar experiences. Persons who entered the world of work, probably interning as a junior accountant, developed a passion and went on to make that their career path. This is just another way that this program continues to impact the lives of so many. The NEP has a budget allocation of $9.5 million. This means that a further $9.5 million will be circulated in the Dominican economy. Many more Dominicans will continue to be positively impacted in their own unique way. Mr. Speaker, I've heard in the past people try to downplay segments of the NEP as less important than others. However, as a young man, I see equal value in everything. Every single job is important. You could be the cleaner or the general manager. Both these positions keep the organization going. The cleanup and beautification teams across the island are a vital component in the development of our country. Our tourism product, for example, when we speak about keeping Dominica clean and green. And at no time should we make these hard-working young men and women feel any less than one of us here in this honorable house. Mr. Speaker, I now turn to youth programs and the Dominica Youth Business Trust, which is indeed very close to my heart. The Ministry of Youth Development and Empowerment, spearheaded by Honorable Minister Dr. Addis King, continues to invest heavily in the development of young people. The $500,000 budget allocation re-emphasizes this fact through the renovation of several youth centers. Through the youth division, young men and women continue to be trained in various competencies. The Youth Skills Training Program gives young people a chance to learn, find employment, or create their own employment. Mr. Speaker, it is a well-known fact that no government can provide jobs for all of its citizens. Now, this government recognized that years ago and launched the Dominica Youth Business Trust as one of its measures to develop viable small businesses. The DYBT plays an integral role in fostering entrepreneurship. The trust has served as a launch pad for a number of successful entrepreneurs over the last 16 years. Through its loan guarantee facility, clients are able to secure loans of amounts not exceeding $20,000. During this past financial year, the DYBT has trained over 100 young entrepreneurs under its various programs. This government continues to support the Dominica Youth Business Trust. Mr. Speaker, in this year's budget, an allocation of $271,000, a grant by the UK Aid Sky Project for the training of 100 young people desirous of becoming entrepreneurs. This project fits well with the government's overall aim of youth employment and empowerment. Mr. Speaker, I wish to turn attention briefly to manufacturing. Mr. Speaker, the removal of VAT and import duties on packaging, labeling, equipment and machinery for manufacturing is of great significance to our manufacturers, many of them who are small, young agro-processors. Mr. Speaker, with respect to agriculture, there has never been a better time for a young person to be involved in agriculture. There is strong support from the Ministry of the Blue and Green Economy, Agriculture, and National Food Security, Mr. Speaker. I wish to turn now to housing. This government has invested tremendously in housing units for Dominicans. Very recently, we saw the handing over of several homes in the East. These families can now sleep well at night, knowing that they have a resilient home, especially as this is an area considered to be fragile. This is a fundamental principle of this Dominica Labour Party government, to make sure that Dominicans feel safe. The massive budget allocation of over $117 million will ensure the continued transformation of our housing sector. Mr. Speaker, in particular, for any young person, there are serious economic benefits to be derived. Imagine a young man now not having to undertake the financial burden of a mortgage. He can now take those savings and invest in productive activities like starting a business or even furthering his personal and professional development. These are the opportunities that we are talking about for youth. Also, we have in this budget for young people, first-time homeowners, a $10,000 grant. Yet again, another opportunity for youth in this country. Mr. Speaker, I wish to turn to education. I wish to reiterate our Honorable Prime Minister's statement and position of the Dominica Labour Party to have one university graduate in every household. There's a reason for this. Studies have shown that there's a direct correlation between the level of education you achieve and your likelihood of finding a job. This government recognizes that obtaining tertiary education allows for young people to become skilled and competent in an increasingly competitive job market. This also increases the overall productive output of our country, with the returning of these young, bright Dominican minds. With the over $1.1 million allocated for scholarships and the student support scheme, it is evident that this government is serious about providing opportunities for us youth to further our education. Mr. Speaker, when I hear members on the opposition side of this House try to convince people that nothing is happening in this country, I become a bit bewildered. Right in my own backyard, I can see marvelous things happening in Layu and St. Joseph. The completion of the $2.4 million Layu Emergency Shelter is yet another project. Which will assist in further bolstering our resilience as a nation. People from Layu now have peace of mind, knowing that there is a safe, climate-resilient shelter in the event of any unfortunate weather system. The facility also serves as a venue for various workshops and trainings to be undertaken in the community. I wish to commend the Minister of Public Works, Honorable Kasani Laville, and the parliamentary representative for the St. Joseph constituency, Honorable Dr. Addis King, for ensuring that this project was completed before the peak of yet another hurricane season. Mr. Speaker, thanks to the outstanding representation of the parliamentary representative for the St. Joseph constituency, as we look to the future for this upcoming fiscal year, several major infrastructural projects, including the York Valley to Pocasset road rehabilitation, are set to materialize. These projects amount to over $13 million. The Honorable Parliamentary Representative will go more in depth. Mr. Speaker, you do not have to look very far to see the success of this Dominica Labour Party government. It is all around us. I follow the programs on GIS, and it excites me to see what is happening in our country. I see the work being done. I see the development of several health centers across the island. I see the support given to farmers. I see the continued improvement of our road network. I see the progress being made in this country, Mr. Speaker, and it excites me. Many times, I sit and I ask myself, had it not been for this DLP administration and the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister, where would we be? Where would we be in times like these, in the middle of a pandemic and the hurricane season? Mr. Speaker, as I close, I wish to once again express my deepest gratitude, first, to the Honorable Prime Minister for recognizing potential in me and his very kind words at my appointment in February. I would further like to thank the Cabinet for giving me a chance to serve as Senator and Deputy Speaker of this Honorable House. I commit to making a meaningful contribution to this Honorable House and the development of our land, Dominica. Mr. Speaker, seeing the number of young persons sitting on this government side of this Honorable House is both inspiring and encouraging. And it speaks to our Honorable Prime Minister's vision and trust in the youth. The future is bright for our youth, Mr. Speaker. Finally, I wish to leave with this one quote before I end, by famous motivational speaker, Brian Tracy. It sums up the last 5 years of this administration under our Honorable Prime Minister. And I quote, "The true test of leadership is how well you function in a crisis." I repeat, the true test of leadership is how well you function in a crisis. Once again, I support this budget put before this Honorable House. May God continue to bless our Prime Minister and Dominica, especially during this hurricane season. I thank you.